It's a gathering of our community and this chosen family that is filled with light workers and healers, health professionals, people from all walks of life that share a passion to help people with their own ascension, with their own healing, and to provide tools that we ourselves have experienced to be incredible healing modalities for all of us and for our clients. And so we get to gather on a weekly basis to come together and provide education and share our stories. So welcome and thank you so much for taking your precious time to join us. I'm Bethany Bosworth. I am a registered nurse. I am a master Reiki energy healer, and I am also a colon hydrotherapist. And when I left my position as a private duty pediatric RN about 2 years ago, I was so blessed to be able to buy this wellness center. And this is where I help my clients to detoxify their bodies with the modality of colon hydrotherapy, which I didn't even know at the time how incredibly powerful and impactful this modality was. And I didn't even fully grasp this idea of detoxing and really like why cleansing the body is so important. And over the time that I've been able to experience my clients and the healing that has been happening for them, I had the pieces of the puzzle started to come together for me. Why so many people ended up at my door in a suffering state because their bodies are they're out of balance, and the food choices that they had were what they thought they were eating as a clean diet were not necessarily as clean as they thought. And I started to have more and more awareness raised around the toxins that are in our food supply and in our air and in our water, and how that is affecting the physical body. And so what we've come together tonight to do is to talk about this concept of spring cleaning, and why is this term spring cleaning so well known. And it's after the winter has passed and we've been living indoors, we have not been having our usual activity level. We haven't been able to open our windows and get fresh air in, and the house feels stagnant, and maybe a little more dirt has accumulated. We feel like we want to get in there and get a really good cleaning. And that is what we need to do with our bodies on occasion as well. And so what I love to talk about, because I'm a nurse and I like to get a little bit science-based, is this idea of toxins and what toxins are. What is it? Why should we be concerned about toxins? And basically, the definition of a toxin is something that will cause harm to a biological organism. And it's at the atomic level. Really, what it all comes down to is free radical damage. And the free radicals are really at the core of so many of the disease processes in our bodies. And so if you'll allow me to just give you a little bit of insight into what a free radical is, because this is a really big buzzword that people talk about a lot, is this free radical damage and antioxidants. But why is this so important to really understand? And so at the atomic level, a free radical is an atom that's missing an electron in its outer shell, and it's out of balance. And what happens is these atoms, they want to be in balance. So they will bounce around the body and they will be looking for another electron to steal from the other atoms. And when that happens, that's a process called oxidation. And that leaves the atom that it was stolen from in an unstable state. And this is what happens when apples get brown. And this is what happens when iron rusts. And this is what happens to our bodies at a very atomic level. And so this is important because this is happening to our cell membranes. This is what's happening to our DNA strands. And so what are the antioxidants? Well, the antioxidants are atoms that have an extra electron in their outer shell, and they can donate that electron to the free radical to neutralize the damage that the free radical can do and not become unstable themselves. And I will tell you that the human body, as a natural byproduct of its metabolism, makes around 300 sextrillion free radicals a day, just as a natural byproduct of living, of cellular respiration. And then we have toxins, which are actually either free radicals themselves or causing free radicals. And those toxins are coming to us through our air and through our food and through our water. And so what can we do about it? And that is where the antioxidants come in. And the antioxidants are those wonderful nutrients. They're atoms that are found in the fruits and the veggies, and the ancient grains and the juices and the mushrooms. And so why we're gathering tonight is to explain to you a very easy system for how you can stop putting the toxins into your body, reduce as much as you can your exposure to your toxins. And that means we're eating organic foods as much as possible. But how can we really get the number of antioxidants that we need in order to neutralize all those free radicals? And we know that the soil today is very depleted of its nutrients. And so when we are looking at concentrated nutrient dense shakes and juices that this company that we've all partnered with is producing. And we know that these foods are grown in soil that has been cared for with regenerative soil practices. And we know that when you juice these fruits and veggies and grains and grasses and mushrooms, when you juice and you concentrate them, you remove the water, you remove the sugar, they get very, very highly nutrient dense. So that is why we are coming together tonight, is to explain how getting these phytonutrients, getting these antioxidants into our bodies, it doesn't have to be a lot of brain damage. It doesn't have to be a ton of running to the store and planning all those meals. And it doesn't have to be standing at your juicer for hours and having, spending hundreds of dollars on fruits and veggies that can actually go bad if you don't use them quick enough. We have all found an incredible way to feed our bodies in the cleanest food on the planet. And we've also found a way to get this into our bodies in a way that is not harming Mother Earth with more plastic containers. And these products from Purium are now being put into plant-based packaging, and they're compostable, and they actually improve the soil. So we're all sharing this passion, this family of light workers that I talked about. We are all here because we share in our passion to help people. And we know that people are a lot of people are suffering, and a lot of people are in survival mode. And so we're coming tonight to you to describe the system to you. And my beautiful friend and colleague, Yarrow Dankert, who is a regenerative, and she's regenerative healthcare practitioner, and she is also a clinical herbalist, and we all talk about her big beautiful brain, and she's owned a health food store, so she knows her supplements. So when I talk about this woman and her incredible amount of knowledge and her exposure to other supplements, like, I listen to her because she knows what she's talking about. And for her to have partnered with Purium and to decide that this was something that she wanted to promote and to provide to her clients in their healing path, that spoke volumes to me. So I want to introduce to you, thank you so much for allowing me to share my story and what I'm doing with my clients, and how I'm just so excited about the healing that has been just one after another, and the weight is coming off, and people's blood sugar and their cholesterol is improving, and so these tools are here for us all, and it's so easy. And so I'm going to turn it over to beautiful Yarrow, and then later on we'll be hearing from another beautiful member of our community, Barbara, and she has a powerful story about how these foods have been supporting her in her walk and her journey in life. But let me just introduce to you Yarrow, and I'll just turn it over to you, Yarrow, and let you share your story, and then tell us about what it is that you'd like to share about the detoxing potential of the system and the nourishing that one can experience.
Okay, thank you. Goodness, quite the introduction. I'm so excited to be able to talk to you all today because I have been with clients all day, and every time that I see somebody else, I'm just blown away by the effectiveness of these products and their ability to detoxify. And the testimonials that I hear and the amount of crying that I do when people leave. I mean, people come into my office and they need help with so many things, so many different things. A lot of big things, a lot of little things, things that just everybody's out of balance, and there is a lot of toxicity, and we do need antioxidants for sure. And the other piece of that are these chemical toxicities that our bodies just can't even process. There's an antioxidant won't save you from dioxins, or everything we put on our bodies, in our bodies, that's around our bodies is total poison. I mean, I think I just heard the other day that you can't sell a piece of clothing in a store if it has not been sprayed with a fire retardant. So then we're receiving that. And I don't always wash my things when I get them at the store. I shop mostly secondhand, but that is just an idea of that every single thing that crosses your path, whether that's in the air or getting in a car, or you eat, or you put on your skin, or literally everything has these toxins in it. And Purium has given me the basis to work from that really brings this level of joy to people. That when you receive a gut reset and your gut comes into balance, the gut brain connection takes over everything. It's like babies are 90% bifidobacteria, literally their being, an infant, a newborn. And so that's a probiotic, right? That's something that their microbiome is just starting to develop. And these products are so pure and so nutrient dense that they are able to go into the system and help bring total balance to all of the cells. In that Miss Bethany was talking about needing antioxidants on a cellular level, on an atomic level, is that you are 75 trillion cells as a being. You're just cellular. And so when you have all those cells in balance and you are able to clean everything up, the level of joy that you experience is unbelievable. It just is. And that is what I notice most about working with people. So there's nothing more gratifying than being of service on purpose and having people come for help and being able now for me, this is wonderful. I mean, I've always offered herbal medicine to everyone and vitamins and supplements for sure as well. And now Purium is not vitamins and supplements. It is organic, whole plants, and it's just live dehydrated juice. And in that way, a supplement can't be nearly as powerful because it's isolated or it's created in a lab. And when something is isolated, it's no longer whole. And of course, if we're trying to make something whole, we need to use something that's whole. Purium is that thing that is the gap between everything. So you start with the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation, which is the perfect combination of 5 different products, starts to clean out your gut, gently detoxifies so you don't go into a Herxheimer or a detox response where you're feeling really bad, why people don't want to detox because you get a headache and you're lethargic and you can't function correctly. None of that seems to ever happen with Purium. It's like so in balance with our body and so needed by our bodies that it's able to just go in and start to really gently detoxify and rebuild your gut. So that right away you start feeling energized and happy, and then are super motivated, of course, to continue cleansing because you feel amazing, right? And then it proceeds to rebuild your gut and your hair starts to grow better and your skin's all shiny and it just couldn't be any better than that across the board. And then you can actually see where you're working from. So if somebody comes into my office and they're super sad, depression is like at the top of everybody's list. I want to feel alive, people say. That's like always on the goal thing is I want to have that zest for life, that feeling, that passion, that anything. Because when you're not feeling well, of course, you don't have that. You just feel like poopy. And that's one of the things that drops off the list almost immediately is like the 3 weeks later they come in, we're talking every couple of days. Well, how's it going? How are your goals happening? What's coming along? Always, I'm feeling really happy. It always is like I'm not, and then life isn't such a struggle. And then the detoxification doesn't seem like such a detoxification, doesn't seem like such a project. And it's not so much work. So it sets me ahead by allowing my people to just get on Purium. We talk a lot. I offer a lot of support. And then it's like they're doing it for themselves. They've actually taken responsibility for their health, which is huge. They feel empowered. They feel better and they feel happy. And then the detoxification can go from there and we can work on the things that really need specific, detailed, more to the point. I can bring in herbs to help balance out a certain system that's gotten especially out of whack. But these products are the best I've ever seen. And I have been, I had my own health food store in 2006 to 2012, and I researched every single line out there. I checked everything. I've tried everything, got samples of it all. And I had never felt better than about 3 days into the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation. It really turned everything around for me. And I was already eating all organic, growing my own chickens, watching out, buying my clothes secondhand. So they didn't have any toxins on them or in them, really being careful of my diet and my life. And I don't live in the city and I still had unbelievable results with Purium. And everyone does. They lower your A1C in tests in a 6-week trial by 75%. They remove glyphosate from your gut, which is a really big deal. And I don't think I'm going to even get into it here. Glyphosate creates leaky gut. It causes our guts to leak. Our guts have everything to do with how we feel. It leads into all of the autoimmune diseases that we are seeing these days and correlates specifically directly with the amount of pounds of glyphosate that have been sprayed since 1986, increasing a little bit year by year. And the same chart showing Alzheimer's, showing dementia, showing heart disease is a direct correlation with exactly how it goes, how many pounds of glyphosate are sprayed to how much illness there is across all the people on the planet. So that in itself is a huge testimonial, and glyphosate is removed in that same trial. 74% of the glyphosate will be removed from your body, and that helps to heal up your gut. That helps you feel happy. That helps all of these products be able to be absorbed so you can actually utilize the nutrition that you're taking in. And it's a miracle. It's totally wonderful. It does great things for everybody. I think that's everything. I
Thank
love
you.
Purium. I think it's amazing.
Thank you so much, Yarrow. Thank you for sharing your beautiful heart and your beautiful presence and all of the knowledge that you are so giving with. And I'm just so honored to have you as a colleague. Thank you so much. And now we'd like to have the beautiful Barbara show us how her heart has just been on an incredible journey through a lot of challenges, and how these foods have really supported her in on her path. And so she's a professional dancer. She is a somatic body practitioner. She's going back to school to learn more about the science behind our bodies and nutrition. And so I want to just turn it over to you, Barbara, and let you share your incredible, powerful story.
Thank you, Bethany. So Purium has played a really pivotal role in shifting my life in a much different direction. I went through a divorce about 6 years ago, and that divorce had several traumatic aspects around it. I was diagnosed with PTSD after getting divorced and separated. I actually was on medication for about 6 months, which I weaned myself off of because I realized I just felt numbed by it. It wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking for real healing. And shortly after that time, I sent my son down to Texas to live with my dad so that I could have some space, some headspace for that healing. And he actually went through a really traumatic event himself, witnessed some things that no kid should ever have to witness with some friends at a party, and ended up disappearing and getting taken out of state. And it was a whole scary situation with guns, and I had to involve a private investigator who works in human trafficking. And we were able to find him. We were able to locate him and bring him home. But it just sent me into a really deep amount of anxiety and depression, and my PTSD was soaring. And right after that, my mother got very sick, and I was told that she was going to need to come live with me so that I could care for her. She had diabetes. And so I did that, like who wouldn't, right? So I cared for my mom and was raising my 2 boys as a single mom. No child support, no kind of really assistance, but I got through it each day. And I found Purium Superfoods through my friend Kimberly Sanders next to me here. Excuse me. And she brought these foods because my mom was on about 1 million different medications and couldn't keep anything down. And here I was sitting in all this anxiety, depression, alcoholism. I'm sure Kimberly walked into my house and was just like, oh my gosh, the energy here. But she came in like a light, just like the angel that she is. And my mom, having had just broken her hip, was able to eat these foods and was able to get up again and go to the bathroom again and walk to the TV and watch like her favorite shows again and spend another solid 1.5 years with me and with my boys. And she passed away a couple months before the pandemic. And then of course it was the pandemic, which was its own like collective trauma that we've all now been through. But I think like a lot of people, the pandemic really woke me up to the healthcare system. And my mother's diabetes really woke me up to nutrition and the effect that nutrition has and the effect that medications have on our quality of life, because if we're not here to live a quality life, what are we here for, So her having passed and me having gotten a pandemic check, I called Kimberly and I was like, you know what? I did all this for my mom. And why am I not doing this for myself? Because I went to the doctor and I actually got a pre-diabetic diagnosis for my A1C3. And so I started Purium, and 3 months into it, I was so excited about the way I felt. I was able to stop drinking, stop smoking weed. My anxiety and my depression were all lifted. It was a process, and it is kind of like this process that you go through, which I now associate with the detox and the cleansing. As these toxic things were coming out of my life, I was releasing toxic relationships, and I was releasing toxic ways of thinking, and I was really holding myself back. I had a lot of self-limiting beliefs about myself and my ability to just even make good relationships and friendships with people. And then here was this community that like swooped in and just like cradled me, you know? And all of those components together of the ULT, right? The cleansing, the detoxing, the deep nourishment that this food provides. Like I was not feeling any lack. I was not feeling malnourished. I was just feeling so cared for and so proud of myself for caring for myself. And so then shortly after that time, it was really confirmed. My younger son actually ended up being accidentally shot. And this is this kind of thing where I would have just taken a dive straight back into drinking, smoking weed, trying to go out all the time. Like that would have been my normal pattern. But it was really confirmed for me that I now had the resilience, and I now had the community support, and I now had the clarity of thought and the strength of spirit to get through this kind of a scenario without damaging myself and becoming self-destructive, because I was now living. I was now living for what feels good, and shortly after that, found out that my A1C3 level went back into be able to do away with that pre-diabetic diagnosis. And my son, of course, came out of being accidentally shot. By the way, I don't know if I said that, but he healed, and I was able to give him superfoods and help him through his healing. And he's been drinking his morning shake with his aminos and his biomedic. And he, sought out plant-based macaroni the other day. I know that's not like the ultimate, but like for him, that's a big step. And just seeing myself being able to affect and have this ripple effect to the others around me. And so I embraced Purium as a business, and I've been able to make extra income. I've been able to just really deepen relationships with several friends that I'm now able to introduce to these foods. And that's really what our group cleanse coming up is all about too. April 10th, we have our April Ascension group cleanse coming up. So if you would like to dive in and come join us on this cleanse, we would love to support you. We have all kinds of recipes and things to support. And of course, if you're wanting to introduce this type of thing to your friends as well, this is a great time to just like get out and show them what's possible and what we can do. So that's all I've got for you today. But thank you so much, Bethany, for having me on, and Yarrow, and everybody for sharing and supporting me through this. And for anybody listening, just get in touch with whoever brought you here, because it can absolutely change your life.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Barb. Thank you for your vulnerability in sharing that. And so, yes, we just want to extend the invitation to anyone who's watching. If you have been putting out to the universe that you need something, you need to make a change, but you don't even know where to begin, this is a simple system. It's a community so supportive, so loving, so passionate to help you and to assist you on your journey. And you get a coach along with the system. So you don't have to do it by yourself. You're not on your own. And so, yes, you can watch the transformation in yourself And if you're like Barb and many of us here that have seen the value and have seen ourselves in the role of assisting others, that there's that opportunity too with this beautiful company. And so we just want to thank you again for joining us, and just really radiate love out to every single one that is watching this this replay, and everyone who is here, and just say thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And so we'll just, now we get to thank everybody here in the way of doing a superfood drawing. And so we have one of our beautiful, sweet colleagues, Allison, is going to spin a wheel for us and see who is going to win a sample pack of these beautiful foods, so that you can try it for yourself and get started getting this beautiful high vibration food into your body. So Allison, I'm gonna turn it over to you, and then afterwards, perhaps if anybody has any questions, go ahead and raise your hands, and we can address some questions if there's anybody here with one.